Garmin's Edge 840 Solar packs an excellent touchscreen and the addition of GNSS Climb Pro 2.0, Climb, Explore, and the new music controls. They're all brilliant, but you shouldn't buy this one. Here's why. Now, I'll get to why you shouldn't buy this later on, but let's start with why you should. I'll begin, as anyone buying this unit will, by running you through the setup and a new user interface. Now, turn the unit on out of the box and the setup process is actually really easy. If you're upgrading from an older Edge device that was connected to the Garmin Connect app, you'll have the option to import all of your previous data screens and sensors. Arguably imitating Wahoo, you can now customize your data screens from your phone as well. Now, this includes changing individual data fields as well as creating whole new screens, and it is really, really fantastic. The functionality, I have to say, on the phone is quite basic, but it works well, and my unit was soon set up and ready to ride. With that done, it's just a case of selecting your ride profile and pressing go. The GPS signal picks up really, really quickly. Garmin has also developed a new home screen. The latest UI has been primarily designed for touchscreen units like this Edge 840 and the Edge 1040. Now, with more customization options available, it's easy to have what you want in sight. Now, for most of us, this will be our main ride profile up here, which Garmin displays at the top. Now, the Edge actually underneath has an adaptable box which shows your last ride or uploaded course. The latter is very helpful when you've created a route, transferred it to your phone, and you're just trying to get your ride started. However, I didn't find being shown my last ride like this morning's commute overly helpful, as I, like many people, prefer to analyze my rides on the likes of Strava or Garmin Connect, as I have a well-earned post-ride snack. The area where this is displayed is also quite big, so it doesn't leave much room for any of the glances that Garmin has introduced. Now, glances are these small little boxes underneath, and they can be expanded when selected to show everything from ride history to an estimate of your current VO2 max. You can have as many or as few as you want, and how useful they are will depend on your needs. On the whole though, I quite like the new UI. Mapping is still one of the best features about Garmin's Edge computers. Even in my local area, I tend to create routes using Garmin Connect, both on and off-road, and I found the navigation on the Edge 840 Solar to be accurate throughout testing. Now, if you're not familiar with Garmin computers, the maps here are easy to read with turn directions that pop up in plenty of time. It also quickly gives you a rerouting option if you go off course, and I love that you can easily pause navigation. I do this a lot as I hunt for like a mid-ride cafe. One handy feature that Garmin has added to the Edge 840 and 1040, but not the 540, is the address search function, which I've wanted for absolutely ages. This works really, really well if you've got an unfamiliar meetup point. I must note, however, that the always-on nature of the Climb Pro 2.0 function, I will come to that in a moment, has massively increased the file sizes. With its 32 gigabytes of storage space, that isn't much of an issue for the Edge 840. However, users considering the Edge 540 with 16 gigabytes will be limited to the map package for one region to free up space. Now, I've got Europe downloaded just to give you an idea of the area that those map packages cover. The second generation of Climb Pro results in a climb profile appearing on your screen even when you're not following a route. This mimics the latest generation of computers from Wahoo and Hammerhead. Now here, Garmin uses its routing popularity data to make educated guesses of which climb you might be about to tackle. It also uses this data to ascertain where the start and finish of a climb is. It all works really well for like the majority of the time, with only a few occasions of the climb segment ending before the actual summit. Now, I hate to be told that I finished climbing while I'm still going uphill. Anyway, the data is useful on unknown climbs. The color-coded climb profile that pops up is a dead easy thing to glance at and to understand. You get average gradient, distance to go, and vertical meters left to climb. Likewise, the small section of map visible is helpful if you're coming up to a junction. Garmin also allows you to set 1 or 2 data fields at the bottom of the screen. If you don't want to see them, they can just be turned off, or you can create a ride profile with the feature disabled, as I have done for my commute. If you swipe down from the top of the screen, you'll reveal swipeable pages, one of which is a list of climbs in the local area. Now, information on the proximity of the climb to you, its gradient and length are displayed. Clicking on one brings up a map of the climb along with a gradient profile and a ride button. Clicking on this will quickly give you a route to the start of the climb. If you're in a new area and you want to explore, this gives you a great way. Now, another of these swipeable pages, and the one that I've been using the most, is the music control screen. If you have your phone connected and are playing some bopping tunes through the headphones as you ride along, you can now play, pause, skip, and rewind tracks from the head unit. For a basic function, I have to say that I found it to be quite buggy. Sometimes the screen would just freeze and have to be closed and reopened for the functions to work, though I often ended up leaving the music controls open as I cycle to work listening to a playlist. I have to say that Garmin recommends the music control should only be used when cycling on an indoor trainer. Whether you choose to follow that advice is up to you, but I found this function easier and safer than pulling out my phone to change tracks, and also in big gloves, I found it way easier to do this than fumbling around for an inline mic or trying to use the touch controls on my AirPods. Okay, that's the big features covered. Just before I get to why I wouldn't buy this computer, let's first cover the basics. Firstly, I love that it starts up and connects to GPS quickly. I've got Hammerhead's Karoo 2, and by comparison, that takes an age to get going. If you're a rider that just likes to get on your bike and go with minimal fuss, this would be a great choice. I also like the size. It uses a similar body shape to the old Edge 830, keeping it more compact than the Edge 1040. At 89 grams, it's also a fair bit lighter than the 1040 at 132 grams. Though weight weenies can still save even more by going for the Wahoo Elemnt Bolt. The screen is also really easy to read, even in bright sunlight, which leads me on to my big gripe. Now, I said that I wouldn't buy this unit, and here's why. Put simply, the solar charging function just didn't do it for me. It's a £70 add-on that didn't offer much outside of blazingly sunny summer days. This might differ for you, but let me explain what I experienced. My riding is split between hour-long commutes and longer rides at the weekend. During the former, I struggled to gain more than a minute or two of charge, so pointless. On weekend rides, when I tended to leave at around 11 AM, I seemed to get the most out of the solar technology. On a 3-hour ride, I gained roughly an extra 30 minutes of ride time. If you ride for longer and on days where the sun is shining from start to finish, you'll likely get more. You can also, I have to say, gain charge with the device in standby mode. As the unit is going to sleep, the display will show you current solar intensity level. Doing this results in only a really minor gain. We're talking 1 or 2% for about 2 hours of charging, but it might get you out of a pinch one day. While the technology works, I question how much value it's actually adding to my experience and whether it will make a huge difference to all-day riders, backpackers and such. All right, I'll have to charge a little less, but at £70 of a premium over the standard Edge 840, I'm not sure it makes enough of a difference to justify the cost. Instead, I would have preferred that Garmin had used this space to increase the size of the screen for a more contemporary look and user experience. Anyway, save the £70, get the non-solar Edge 840, and you'll have a brilliant cycling computer. But if you're stuck between getting a Garmin or a Wahoo, then you're not alone. Click just up here so that Robin can help you to decide. If you like our review, then please like the video and subscribe because it really helps the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.